Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And today we're talking about 4 bottles of bourbon that we have recently finished and whether or not we will actually spend our money to rebuy them or not.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer. Before we go any further, let's give a minute to our video sponsor today, Shaker and Spoon.
If you're anything like us, then Shaker and Spoon is going to make perfect sense to you.
Yep.
We like cocktails, we like convenience, and that's exactly what they're all about.
In a nice little box.
Absolutely. First box up, we went with All Eyes on Rye, which has a baklava sour, a Creole sling, whatever that is, we're going to find out, and a Homestead Old Fashioned because it's the most classic of cocktails, and we're going to put their ingredients to the test. With that said, let's get into this box. You get a fancy little card that tells you all your terminology and techniques that you need.
You need those
can't
tips
beat
and
that.
tricks.
Absolutely. We've got our winter spice syrup, whatever that is.
I love how everything is perfectly portioned. That makes me so happy because you're not wasteful.
And now we make the cocktail. First things first, we got to add our rye. 2 ounces. 1, 2. Next up, we use ½ an ounce of the winter spice syrup.
That name sounds so good.
And then we need 3 dashes of black pepper bitters and 3 dashes of orange bitters. And they say to stir, but we don't have a pretty bar spoon, so we're going to shake this thing up. Now that we're sufficiently frosty, we strain over a big old cube of ice. We've added a cherry from the box, and we finish it off with a spray of orange oil. Why don't you talk to the people about Shaker and Spoon while I take a sip of this?
The old fashions just make me think that this is a really good date night drink, like date night at home drink. For me, old fashions were in my single days, they were my going out drink of choice because all the boys were impressed that I drank whiskey. So it's a nice at-home date night with all the things you need. You don't have to go out and buy the ingredients and then let them go bad. Yeah. It's super convenient, and I kind of love it. I want to try it.
Try that. The thing about Shaker and Spoon that I like so much is you get 3 different cocktails per box, enough ingredients to make 4 cocktails. And we love doing this sort of stuff, and Shaker and Spoon is such a good fit for it on the cocktail front.
If you want to make delicious cocktails like this one, use the link in our video description below and put in the code STUFF at checkout to get $20 off your Shaker and Spoon subscription.
All right, let's get back into the video. As we said right on the top, we're talking about 4 bottles we've recently finished and whether we would buy them again or not. And more importantly, why or why not, which is the biggest part of the equation.
Yep.
But before we get into that, we got to get into the first sip. This video topic is a recurring video for us, and the first sip is a recurring segment within our Tuesday videos, where we take a single blind sample out of our sample pool completely at random, and it's something that we've never actually tried before. So there's no familiarity with the product. We're coming into it with clean palates, and we're going to give you our totally honest impressions, separate and apart from any labels or hype or bias. It could be available, it could be allocated, it could be inexpensive or expensive.
Yeah, we won't know until afterward.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's get into it and see what we're working with here.
It smells like whiskey. I have nothing to note.
This to me smells a little bit like a mash, like if you go to a distillery and you smell the mash tanks. Like it's got a little bit of that going on in it. Once I get past that, what's predominantly here to me, this smells like alcoholic high fructose corn syrup.
So just straight up sugar.
Straight up sugary, sweet, kind of corny.
Kind of like you.
All right, let's get into the palate after that.
All right. Whoa.
She got some zip.
It burns.
Yeah, there's some harshness there.
I think it's like an alcohol burn. It's not like a proof burn.
I just tried to talk through it. Yeah, that Karo syrup, high fructose corn syrup sweetness is still there. The flavor is in my mouth, but then on top of the flavor is this wave of alcohol.
Like alcohol burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really wild.
Yeah, I get that.
Let's get into one more sip.
Okay.
Now that we've kind of acclimated ourselves to what this glass contains. Second sip tells a little bit more.
So the second sip kind of tastes a little more like a popsicle stick.
Yeah.
Like a sugary popsicle has melted and I'm licking the stick.
Yeah.
But then there's also that alcohol burn still on top.
But if the popsicle had a flavor before you got down to just the stick, it would be like a clear popsicle that was just full of sugar.
Like the white mystery pop. Like
Yeah.
if Airheads made a popsicle.
But it's just full of sugar. Like it's just straight up nothing but sweetness.
But it's like so alcohol burny that the sweetness, I feel like I almost don't even notice that as much.
Yeah. Beyond like kind of that high fructose corn syrup situation, I'm getting some appley sweetness as well. That's kind of can be an indicator of youth. So I'm not saying this is a young product. It's very light.
Yeah.
So it probably is young because the proof is kicking. Or maybe it's just the alcohol.
I
maybe
feel like
it's
it's not
unbalanced.
proofy. I feel like it's just alcohol burn, like unbalanced alcohol burn.
Let's get one more sip here before we get into our ratings, just to make sure we're giving this glass a fair shake.
Okay. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Popsicle, alcohol. The alcohol has kind of tamed down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's still there, riding on the top still.
Yeah. It's kind of I was going to say a one-note wonder, but it's not really wonderful. It's kind of the opposite of wonderful. But, it's not off-putting. Like, I'm not going to spit it out if somebody gives me this. But I wouldn't pour another glass of it myself. Yeah. Spoiler alert, probably not going to buy a bottle of this. Where are you at on nose, flavor, and experience for this glass?
So I'm giving it just okay across the board. Nose, flavor, and experience.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't good. So it was just okay.
I'm in the exact same place. This very rarely happens, but just okay on nose, just on flavor. Just okay on flavor. That's what I meant to say. And then just okay on experience. Let's find out what we've been drinking. Okay. This is Mellow Corn Bottled-in-Bond, $20, 100 proof.
Oh, wow.
Very readily available in pretty much all markets
worldwide. Is it a corn whiskey?
It's a corn whiskey.
Okay.
Which now the lightness and the color makes a lot of sense.
And is that's why it's so sweet, probably?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it young?
It's 4 years, Bottled-in-Bond. So it's got a little bit of age on it, which we are getting that kind of popsicle sticky, kind of woody note on it. But
why is it so alcohol forward though?
Probably young. Yeah. It's 4 years. Like, it is a batch product. It's not a single barrel or anything like that. But, 4-year corn whiskey, like it's just got a little bit of harshness to it. Okay, let's get into our ratings. So retail ratings are the retail side of the equation for a bottle of whiskey, the price and the availability. And then the consumer rating is, would we as consumers purchase a bottle of this?
Okay.
So let's just go ahead and just get right into it.
So it's pretty available, you said?
Yeah, and it's around
20-ish?
I've never seen it higher than 20. I have seen it for as cheap as 10.
Okay. So it gets a thumbs up on retail score for me. Okay. If you like this sort of thing, it's a great buy.
Yeah.
Will I buy it again? Hard pass.
Yeah.
It's a thumbs down.
I think I'm at the same place. Like $20, I want to go just okay, but knowing that you can get it for like 15 or even less than that for 100 proof, and there is flavor there.
There is.
It's not a flavor that I enjoy personally, but there is flavor there.
And it might be a flavor that you might love corn whiskey, and if you do, this would be a great value buy.
And it's something different in the market too. So for that, I do think it gets a thumbs up on the retail side of the equation for us. But would I buy it again or not? Thumbs down, hard pass.
Yeah.
I don't see a reason to have a bottle of this around, personally speaking.
It's just not our preferred flavor profile.
But if we're your preferred profile for whiskey reviews, honest and unbiased like we do here, then go ahead and give us a like, subscribe, leave us a comment below about what you think about Mellow Corn.
Yeah.
Obviously, the price is very good, but we don't really believe in just spending money to spend money on bottles that we're not going to reach for very often. But we would love to hear your opinion in the comments below.
And if you're in the mood for some Stuff and Whiskey merch, you can check out stuffandwhiskey.com. Josh is sporting a lovely hat here. We also have t-shirts, sweatshirts, some drinkware, so go check it out.
That's in the video description below, and we also have a link to our Patreon community over there as well. If you like these kind of bite-sized, quick reviews that we do over here, then you will love the bonus content tier over on Patreon, where we do 2 additional videos every single week. We cover all kinds of stuff over there, including some international whiskeys, so you can check that out. You can also get plugged into our community and get involved in doing some blind flight nights, some sample swaps, some giveaways, all kinds of stuff that we have going on over there. Let's get into our main topic, where we are talking about whiskeys that we've recently finished and whether we would buy them again or not. We love this as a recurring episode because we get to tell you guys what we think about a bottle over a course of time, over a period of time, rather than just our first impressions. Because sometimes first impressions can be good, and then the bottle can kind of change and not be so good.
Yeah.
And as
or
far
the
as
opposite.
Or the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was inspired by Car and Driver's long-term road tests that they do on cars. And I used to read that all the time. And I thought it was very telling when you could see how someone's experience went with something over a period of time.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 categories here. We have our would not buy agains, our might buy agains, but might not, and then our absolute definite will buy agains. So let's start with our won't buy agains.
Okay.
And why. So first up is the crowd favorite, Evan Williams White Label Bottled in Bond.
And this is in the we will not buy again, not because it's not good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good, solid whiskey.
Yeah.
Great value.
Great value. But we've also found some other whiskeys that we just tend to like a little bit more that are also great value.
For us, this is good, but for 100 proof and about $17, $18, $20 in our market, we would much rather have the flavor profile of something like Evan Williams 1783 rather than this. This is a little bit more proofy and flavorful, but it's also a little bit more nutty and dry.
Yeah.
And we don't like that compared to what 1783 offers. And then for the same proof and price point, we prefer Early Times Bottled in Bond. It's just a better product all around, a little bit more balanced on our palates. And for a few bucks more, you can get Wild Turkey 101. So this kind of ranks in 4th place in the value depth chart for us. And it's just not something we're going to spend 20 bucks on again when we can buy one of those other bottles instead. Let's get into our might buy agains, but we might not. So first up is going to be Russell's 10-year. We like this stuff. It's good, but it's 90 proof.
Yeah.
It's $30 to $35 in our market, and it's thin on the back end. The flavors are good. It's got some earthiness that you like.
I do like earthiness.
It's got some sweetness that I like, but at 90 proof, the body is just, it's watered down. It just needs more proof. The reason it's in the might buy again, unfortunately, we drank all of it and said we were going to put it in the won't buy again category.
Yeah.
But I have this idea that I want another bottle of this to start experimenting by mixing it with Wild Turkey 101, because Wild Turkey 101 we do enjoy, but it could use a little bit more age and a little bit more sweetness to offset the nuttiness that it has, and that's what this has in it. So, and then this could benefit from some of the proof and the viscosity in the body from Wild Turkey 101. So in my mind,
a little blending.
In my mind, I'm going to start playing. I'm going to get another one of these and start playing with ratios for home blending. So that's why it's in the maybe category. But we might not ever get around to that because there's a lot of whiskey out there. And if I'm going to spend $30 on something, I want it to be something that I want to enjoy.
That's true.
But I also want to play around.
Yeah.
So. Next up in the maybe buy is going to be Four Roses Small Batch Select. I actually think we had this in a previous buy or rebuy under the would buy again because it came up in a double blind against Four Roses Single Barrel and we enjoyed it so much. However, this was part of a blind flight night that we recently did with our Patreon community that included Smoke Wagon Small Batch and Henry McKenna 10-year and some other stuff. And this came in dead last.
Yeah. And
I don't know if it was because people could talk about the Four Roses effect. It's a little bit different. Maybe it was a little bit of an outlier, but we had this and 4 other bottles and we pour them in sample flights and they go out to our Patreon community and it's coordinated blind. We're all drinking the same thing at the same time on a private live stream. And we almost unanimously across the board put this in last place. And on balance, it did finish last.
Yeah.
And that's pretty bad for a $65 bottle to not stand up to other products that are as available but cheaper, or cheaper, harder to get, but better. We will probably rebuy this again, but I don't know, $65 is a lot of money for a bottle of whiskey, and I'd like to know that I really enjoyed it for that. And been a little bit all over the place on this bottle. I actually, I bought it to put in that blind flight because it impressed us so much. And I was thinking it was going to win the flight night, and it actually came in dead last. So there you go. That's what happens sometimes with blinds. But let's move into our bottle that we will absolutely rebuy. And it is going to be Knob Creek 120 proof single barrel picks, or not a store pick even, just the regular old 9-year 120 proof is a fantastic buy. we love this stuff. I don't know what else we can say.
Yeah.
It's the best value in high proof bourbon that doesn't say rare breed on the front of the bottle. If you ask us,
Yes.
You've said that this would be your like staple high proof pack a punch bourbon.
Yeah.
If you were going to have like a very small collection
Of just bourbon, yeah.
And I love these things. I personally think with Elijah Craig barrel proof single barrel picks coming out that are in this 8 to 9 to 10 year range at like 120 to 130 plus proof at $100 in our market is what they usually are. You can get something like this for half the price just about. And I think if you get a good one, it's every bit as good. Honestly, usually prefer these Knob Creek picks. A good Knob Creek pick, I prefer over an Elijah Craig barrel proof pick, at least what limited experience I have with those. So super quality product. Can't say enough good about Knob Creek. So that's it for our buy or rebuy bottles for this. About 6 weeks is about every so often when these come out. Let's get into our other stuff. Platforms that we both are on. I think for you it's YouTube. For me it's podcasts. You see a lot of people sponsored by MeUndies. And this will be a super short other stuff because we don't care about having matching underwear. Just don't see a point to that.
Nope. I'm not.
And we also don't see a point in paying $60 for 3 pairs of underwear. But I found some products on Amazon by David Archie and their micromodal, or micromodal or whatever MeUndies calls it. And it's going to be super short. We don't have to go into much detail here, but with these other stuff segments on our buy or rebuy episodes, we like to find something that we've used for a long period of time and that we can recommend. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt that these David Archie underoos from Amazon that are a third of the price of MeUndies are every bit as durable as any of the expensive stuff out there.
Boutique brands.
Which I have dropped money on occasion in the past.
Yeah. And you can compare them now.
Yeah. And these are holding up every bit as good, if not better than any of those. And they're super comfy. So check it out. We'll put an Amazon link in the description below. It's not affiliated or anything like that. But if you like your bits and bobs to feel very comfy, then it's worth checking out for a good price.
Who doesn't love that?
And while you're down there, go ahead and see our email address. You can contact us at that email address because that's what you do with email addresses. You contact people with them.
That is what you do.
And it's also your way to get in touch with us about the charity fundraiser that we do every October. We're getting the word out early and often on this. And we need bottle donations to be able to raise money for the cause of mental health. And we take all those proceeds that we raise through GoFundMe and we donate them to Write Love on Her Arms, which is a mental health organization that provides hope and direct help for people in need. They actually sponsor people who are really trying hard and need help. So we really love that organization and where their heart's at. If you'd like to get plugged in and be a part of our next fundraiser, last year we did $15,000. This year we're trying to best that, and we do it together as a community.
That's it for this week. Thanks for watching.
Till next week, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And today we're talking about what?
You were like coming in hot. I'm Erin, and today we're talking about.
We said we're making it fast. We're gonna try to film.
And today we're talking about.
All right.
These can be short. It's fine if they're short. I think people might have like a little short one.
All right, let's try to make this a quick video. That's what she said. I was like, why is she laughing? Oh, she's a child.